Welcome to the channel. My name is Chris, and today I'm going to be showing you two shapes you can use to move around the fretboard. It sounds like this, starting with E major. And we're also going to include the minor in there as well. And I'll show you how to use the E major pentatonic scale either here or in another position so that you can combine it with these chords. Now the first thing we're going to talk about are the two shapes. Okay, so the first one is E major like this, right? We're just playing the open E major chord, same one you learned when you first started playing. Now what we can do is move that around, and I'll talk about why. So that can move up to here with the 9th fret, right? Instead of being on the 2nd fret, you can move it up to the 9th. And that works really well because it's very similar to like the B major here. You're just extracting the root note, like having it on the low string like that as a bass note, so that is pretty interesting. And then the same thing when you move it to the 7th fret, fits in there really nicely. Now theoretically, I'm thinking about this as sort of the 1 chord, the 5, going to A, right? The 4 chord. You don't necessarily have to think about it that way or understand the theory. I just want you to kind of have some context for it, okay? So 1, E, B, A, okay? Just like that. Now there's another shape too, if you were paying attention in the intro, hope you were, right? We have this F sharp minor, like that, moving to G sharp minor as we're ascending through the chords of E major. And I've done a lot of videos on this where I talk about the actual diatonic chords, or otherwise known as just the chords that are in the key, built off the major scale. We're not going to talk about the diminished today because I don't think it sounds particularly well with the open strings. This lesson is just about sort of exploring the sound of open strings with these smaller shapes, right? Essentially, we are playing triads. But what we're doing is using the open strings along with it because they sound harmonious in the key of E. E major, well, think about the open strings that we have. We have the low E, we have the B string, and the E. So the cool thing about that is that it's really just like a power chord. Okay? By adding in the triad in between, sandwiched in between those, you end up with this really nice open sound. Like that, you can pleat it up here, and that sounds great when you get all the way back up to E at the octave. And it sounds really nice with those open strings, okay? I'm thinking about the diatonic chords just going up. So now I want to talk a little bit more about how you could sort of leverage the pentatonic scale to work with this. E major. Okay, B going A. I think about the pentatonic here because it's the easiest one I think for people to understand, and it's the one you know the most. You'll notice that essentially I'm playing like the C sharp minor. I'm in this box, C sharp minor and E major, by the way, same exact thing. They share the same notes, you're just starting and ending on a different note. So 12th fret. Like that. So if you're playing the chord progression, you can just play around with E major there. another position that would be great would be here. Right? And I'm sort of thinking about the C shape E chord here. So that works really well. Some of the chords are going to sound better when you don't accentuate that low E. Like if I want to do something that sounds more like a chord progression and it has structure, of course for the E chord, I want to hear that, but maybe then you can alter it in a new way, play the root. That's totally fine. For the A chord, you can do something interesting where you only use 2 fingers, right, like this. You can use the open 5th string for that. You're just not keeping that full shape of all 3 notes anyway. You could lift up the middle or use the middle to swap for the ring. You'll have those free, which maybe is easier to grab a high note. Right, what about this? So again, the structure here is super loose. I wanted to sort of come at this concept from more of an improvisational standpoint. Like I didn't prep anything for this video, and I just kind of wanted to free play and see what I could come up with for you guys, just to share some insight into some of the concepts that I'm working on, or some of the ways that, I don't know, I try to break down the fretboard and come at it from a different angle. That's really the whole point of this. I think as a guitar player, but specifically as a guitar instructor and now making content, lesson content, it's all about me looking at the guitar from different perspectives to try and get into the minds of all the different types of students that there are. Because one method or even 3 methods of doing something doesn't mean that it's going to work for millions of people that see videos online, right? So my goal is to unpack this instrument my way and then start to see it from every angle possible. And these are the types of things I work on to do that. Exploring open strings, mixing pentatonic and chords. So why don't we do a play along where we play through all the chords together, okay? We're gonna do E, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll do half notes like that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Three, 4 again. 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. So I hope this video was helpful. You can find all the notation on my Patreon, downloadable PDF, so that you can learn at your own pace. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you found it helpful. It'll really support me on my journey. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.